Welcome to the Be About It podcast. My name is Ben Mercedes, and I'll be your host. We'll cover financial and crypto markets, real estate, and entrepreneurship. My goal is to inspire others to be about it and take action. Today's guest is a friend of mine, Mario Escobar. He is a videographer, editor.
I think so.
He's a script writer. And he's also an idea guy. Anytime I have an idea for something and I need it to be bigger, I like to turn to him or something to get fleshed out. So Mario, I'll get into that after, but thanks for joining me on here. How are you?
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm chilling. I'm excited. Used to host a podcast myself, and I feel like I'm in my element here.
Yeah.
Minus I had the headphones though, but that's all right, man. It's just a convo, so yeah, I'll feel it out. I don't know if I'm gonna be as good as G, but we'll see what happens, man.
Happy to have you on here, bro. I wanted to really have you on here, A, to have the conversation documented, B, you're a full-time entrepreneur at this point, right?
Yeah, bro.
Let's talk about that. You went from working where?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, bro, we used to work at the same company.
Yeah.
I was at Mimecast. You were at Mimecast.
We were at Mimecast.
How did you go from?
So I actually switched over from one field to another when I started working at Mimecast. Mm-hmm. That was actually my switch. Yeah. So I was working at the Department of Youth Services, and I was there for like 10 years. And anybody working in that industry, in that field, have you worked in that industry?
No. I remember you telling me.
I know like 80% of my people been there. Did you work in the department? No, you were in it though, right? Were you? Oh, my bad, bro. I worked at the Department of Youth Services. Yeah. And anybody who works in the industry in that field knows that 10 years that's a good run. Now it's time to, they call it a stepping stone. A lot of people become police officers, court officers, program directors, if that's probation, what you want to do, For me, it was just more of a hookup at the time. And I just, I was just serving faithfully, and started moving up, and eventually got to a point where there was no movement from there. Prayed about it, and I didn't want to be no cop or nothing. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do, man? Like, what's my transition? Yeah. So a friend of mine who was in IT happened to be a director at Mimecast. Mm-hmm. And he was like, bro, let me take you under my wing. Let me show you the ropes. Kind of set up like a boot camp. Certified. So we sat together. He had me like take apart a whole PC, put it together. He had me learn Active Directory, all this other stuff, like, this techie stuff, this geeky techie stuff. And so I became good at it. And really it was just personality actually that landed me there. I wasn't sure if I was going to get the gig because I'm switching a whole field from 10 years, in social services. Hey, and now here I am like, yo, I could fix your laptop. And, I went to school for audio production too. So it kind of transition a little bit, working with Pro Tools and stuff like that. So creative, background as well kind of helped me make the adjustment, and learn pretty quick. And then it was personality, dude. I sat in there and just talked with them, and and next thing you know, we're not even talking about work. We're talking about like working out at the gym or whatever. And they were like, bro, the culture at Mimecast was great. Yeah. When I was there before it was where you were there. Before it became public. Yeah. It was, bro, there were kegs in the office. Yep. It was I was like, this is contraband, bro. I'm walking in like, yo, it was what? It was go to lunch, have 3 beers on a Friday, and get let go early. No lie. And sales retreat. They shipped us up to like the top of Maine. Yeah. Other dudes went to Africa on a safari. Fire. Big parties. Celtics tickets, Patriots tickets. Yeah. I mean, we did Foxwoods, bro. I remember. We were at Foxwoods for like 3 days. Yeah, I remember that. Or like 2 days. It was, I remember falling asleep. They invested in their people, man. They knew, like, they work hard, play hard. Like Mimecast has that spirit. Shout out to Mimecast, man. It's a great company, man. Brand. Great company. Yeah. Good people. And a lot of people, a lot of people within the company will bounce around to different like departments, and it was very flexible, and they wanted people to learn like all the aspects of the company. And those people that bounced around from like different department, that got a well-rounded, perspective of the company, how it works and everything. Those people were the ones that grew within that company.
Do you, Peter Lamoni?
Yep.
So Peter was my guy.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man.
Like when we went on those trips together. Yeah. And he's still at the company. He has options, and he's a boss now. Yep. Like a boss. Yep. So he has to be making 180 with benefits. Or maybe if he's in sales, you could do $250,000. Yeah. If not more. So yeah, man.
Yeah. So I got my foot in the door. From there, I didn't know what the move was going to be, honestly. Yeah. I was commuting an hour back and forth Monday to Friday.
How'd you feel at the time?
Podcasts, man. Yeah. I listen to podcasts.
Joe Budden.
I listened to a little bit of Joe Budden. I was more intrigued with Joe Budden. It was the podcast thing. I was like, what's the psyche behind this? How does this work? How you make money? How do you put it together? It was the techie side of me. I was interested. And then I was just like, I don't care, how people reflect. I just love doing new things. So I'm like, let me try this. Can we do this? And I was messing with the cams, the GH5. You're the one who got me to invest in the GH5. Thank you, brother. Got the GH5, and I was like, can I go live with this? Like, can you go on like Facebook or YouTube with this? And just started experimenting. And then, boom, started podcasting. So an hour there, hour back, that's what I listen to sometimes, not all the time. I would listen to sermons too, try to make sure that I'm grounded, make sure that I'm thinking properly about everything. And then, I don't know. I lost my track. So Mimecast, boom.
Yeah, just how you would fill your time.
All right, so from Mimecast, I was like, I can't do this commute. So I was like, all right, let me see. I had some hookups in Reliant, and I went for the interview there, and I was like, all right, this time I got to pull my weight, and I got to prove myself. I got to make sure that I, answer the questions right. It ain't my boy, and I don't think they're going for personality. So I was like, all right, I did my thing, got in there. And eventually, things happened with how deep can I get with certain things?
No, bro,
I don't want to get too personal about things.
There's one show sponsor, and it's me. All right, it's BM2 Films.
Okay, all right, cool. So
let's talk about it.
Eventually, it got to the point where they were mandating the vaccination. Now, for me, I have my own personal reasons why I wasn't comfortable with that. Yeah. But mainly the fact that they were telling me if I don't get it, I'm gonna lose my job. Like if they would have not pushed me and they would have not made it a big thing, I probably would have voluntarily been like, all right, let me take my time, do my research, and all right, yeah, cool. Yeah. But when they said, we're like, yo, you got to get this by this date or else, and I was like, ooh, that's when I was like, red flag, don't feel right. Yeah. I was like, oh man. So that led me to wrestle with certain things. And in my personal situation, it caused me to reconsider the possibility of taking the opportunity to be self-employed. And it just so happened with my family, my circumstances, my wife, my children, it happened. So it wasn't, the vaccine made me consider the options. And so once I was done with the vaccine, then I came to peace. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get it. I'm for my family. I'm gonna do it for my family. I'm good. But once I started considering the possibilities, and thank you, brother, for you helping me along the way and showing me the ropes and taking me under your wing as well. Mentors. If I'm, we got the experts, I'm a student. So for the students listening, mentors are key. Mentors that you need to have, and I'm sure for you too.
Absolutely. Everybody has
as well. Yeah, exactly. So don't be intimidated by people that know more, that are your peers. Don't be, or younger, because you guys were talking like even my kids. I'm like, man, my kids are on a whole different level. I'm like, man, I can't even help my oldest daughter with somewhere at work. I'm like, what? Like what formula? I'm like, we got to call an expert, man. I don't know. But mentors, man, have your mentors. Don't feel less than. Always question. Always look for answers. If anything, see the blessing in your peers knowing more than you, because those are your boys. Those are your people. Like a lot of times we get in this mindset of like, either covetousness or jealousy or whatever, or, you know, or maybe even like selfish, like it's not my endeavor, you know, it's not what I'm trying to do. Like swallow your pride. You can do your own thing on the side, but you got to learn to get to that point. You have to, and another thing too is like, you think you want it, you think you're ready for it, then the opportunity comes and here's the time, and you totally drop the ball because you weren't ready for it.
One of the best opportunities I had, even on, you know, quote unquote set, we were podcasting at the Bellagio, and I sent you the picture, and like we pulled up in the room, they traveled really light. They had 2 or 3 cameras, but they didn't have like a key light. And so the Bellagio is behind us, and it's gorgeous. The sky is blue, but the only light in the room is yellow. So it's going to mess up that white balance. And so we had no gels. We grabbed the hotel light, brought it closer, tried diffusing it with like a white sheet. But in that whole thing, like I was with my buddy Jordan, who's like a mentor to me, and he was adjusting the white balance on the camera like I've never seen before. He opened up a screen where it goes from like blue to orange, and you can actually slide it and see it, versus, you know, just adjusting the Kelvin number. I know the Kelvin number because I know lighting, but I'm also like, I like the visual aspect of that. So like being around people who know more than you, who shoot things a certain way, or being on a set where you have a grip and a gaffer and you can really just watch the way they light things and the way they frame things off and block things off, and seeing the way, you know what I mean? Like learning from people who are really good at what they do are only going to make you better.
Yeah.
So anytime I have that opportunity, I'm trying to take that challenge.
Yeah.
So even if I'm, you know, the AC, like I don't need to be the DP. I'm here to like learn and have fun.
You know, that's why you got to the level that you got to, bro. Like, you know, you were always willing to learn. You were committed. Even if you didn't know how to do it, you took on the project anyway. And then you try to figure it out while you were there.
Yeah, I heard that on a podcast.
And you deal with stress very well, dude. Like when I'm there, like you're like everything, that camera can drop, your face can like turn red, and then you be like, oh, it's all good. It's all good. And you grab another one. Like for me, it's like one thing goes bad, I'm like, yeah, like panicking, like, yo. No. So just the way that you kept, you know, level headed.
Do we have a camera flaw?
No. Okay. It wasn't even that bad. It was, what was it? It was like a screw was loose. I don't know. And I went crazy. I was like, I can't fix it. I'm like, But you're calm and collected, man. And I'm learning that. Yeah. I'm learning, okay, how's Ben just stay chill, man? like how does he just stay calm and cool?
I've been doing this a while. Yeah. And I obviously shooting weddings, it's like high level stress at some points. So it's like, I don't know, if you can work on a quick paced set like that, where it's everything is just on the go, on the fly, coming to a corporate set or smaller stuff like documentary stuff, like that stuff is a breeze, dude. Yeah. When I shoot,
you have that muscle memory down.
Yeah. When I shoot,
you already know.
That's one thing that helps, is just like continuously getting the reps in. So like when it's January, February, or I think I was posting back in April, where it's like, I want to get the reps in. It's like, it just helps you.
Yo, that's a good way to put it too. Get the reps in, because I tested my gear one time, you know, I bought the V-mount kit and everything, trying to get more power, try to last longer with the shoots, and tested everything out. And I was like, oh, yo, I sent it to Ant, sent it to a few people like, yo, this is it, get this. And then the very next day I put it to test in the field, and it failed. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like sitting there like, so I knew right then and there, I'm like, yo, I have to take this out more. I have to, you know, I have to test and test and test and test. And even like family trips and things like that, Absolutely. Like boom, take the camera out.
Anytime I get new gear, I take kids, let's go somewhere. Let's go to Shaw's. Let's go to the park. Let's go somewhere. Recently I got the Leica R lenses that I got, not recently, but within the last couple of years. But, you know, brought the kids to the park, and I'm shooting on a 50 mil at f2, and like, it's a dreamy lens from the 80s, and it just looks gorgeous. Yeah. Like those frames are dope. So just, you'll get those practice reps in there. Right.
Yep. You get to go back, analyze the footage, you know, see all those little things that you got to work out and whatnot. So, so eventually, I faced that challenge, saw the opportunity, made the jump. It's been 5 months. So far, it's been a blessing.
How's life? Let's talk about that.
Bro.
How's finances compared to your regular job?
My goodness, man. So income is almost double between the two of us, because Sammy went back. So I that's another thing. I was like, you know, she wanted to go back. You know, I didn't push her. My kids are homeschooled just because this situation, bro. The pandemic hit, right? I moved to Mom Duke so I could save up and get a house. That's my plan. I'm like, yo, 2-year plan. I'm going to move to Mom Duke's. We're going to save up. We're going to pay down. 2 years, we out of here putting down payment. Yo, Pandemic came through, shut down. What is the mandates? I'm like, yo, all that's missing is a meteor falling from the sky. I'm like, this is crazy. This is insane. But the whole perspective was just rock. My bad. I'm shaking the mic here. The whole perspective from that point was just rocked. And through that, through that situation, thankfully I was able to consider certain things and reprioritize. I thought of family. So I'm like, dude, I went from, someone yelling at me to do this or do that or do this and running around and moving everything around what felt like for my job. My job, I would say my family came first, but honestly, like if they say you got to work, you mandated extra hours, like, sorry, wifey, like I got to, and honestly, at the end of the day, they got you locked up. So now with that flexibility, homeschooling at the house, being there with my kids, being able to get the edits done. Obviously I'm 5 months in, so I still got to learn to have properly manage my time and how to do all this. I'm still learning the homeschool thing. You know what I mean? Like I'm there, I'm editing, I'm talking to Ben. I got my kid behind me. Daddy, help me. Like this is my day, man. I'm doing breakfast, lunch, but it works for our situation, man. Yeah. And now it's weird, bro. So today I went to go drop off my stuff and I'm talking to a coworker, and we just, catching up. Yep. and this dude is like, venting, you know what I mean? And then with my new perspective, I'm like, dude, there's a lot of opportunities out there. Yeah. Build up your resume, see yourself as self-employed, even though you're employed by somebody else. You still come to an agreement with the employer. You sit down and go through, what the expectations are and and both you sign off on this thing. And you're saying, I agree to these terms and conditions. So you got to treat yourself like that. If you're going to be, working for somebody else, there's no problem with that. I don't think everybody should be entrepreneurs. I think, as a matter of fact, it does a lot of damage because some people aren't built for that life. They assume they are. They pursue it, give everything into it. Their marriage fails. They fail as a parents, as a father, or a wife. And because, you want, it's all or nothing. You're not satisfied. It's all or nothing. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. And then in certain circumstances, it doesn't work in certain circumstances, So if you're uncomfortable with that and you prefer to work for somebody else, you still got to see yourself as almost self-employed, man. You know what I mean? Like you still got to build up. You still got to, you're not stuck in anything. Be loyal. Loyalty is good. But at the end of the day, it's about your family, your responsibilities. It's about you. You build yourself up. You build everyone else around you up. So, yeah, man. So for me, it's just the circumstance moved that way. At one point I'm like, yo, I'm ready for this life. I can't wait. Thank God he held me back because I wasn't ready, man. I wasn't ready. And in his time of just being faithful, circumstances opened up and here I am now, man. So
I love it, bro.
Yeah.
I love entrepreneurship. It's one of the reasons why I started the podcast, right? Because I come from entrepreneurship. I love entrepreneurship. I want to teach entrepreneurship. I want entrepreneurship to be like a sport that kids in high school play. You know what I mean? Because with sports, you have a like 0.0001 chance of making it. With entrepreneurship, it's like reverse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you teach these kids how to negotiate early on. By 16, they're already popping. They can have a retainer business, 5-10 bands a month.
Yeah.
I'm free.
You were telling me earlier about what you were doing with the whole lawnmower thing. And
so I like grass stuff, right? I like grass too, man. I like grass. I enjoy it. I know what you're talking about.
I'm saying,
but so I don't know. It's cardio for me. And it's also cool to like take care of the yard so the kids can play in it. And I've learned some things along the way, but I've been on the boys like, yo, you should knock on everyone's door in our neighborhood. And you should say, hey, do you need help with your lawn? And what's the price? Or I don't have one, but you can pay whatever you'd like. And so like, if I said 20, they'll probably cap at 20. But if I say nothing, they might give 30 or 40. You know what I mean? Or they might even come with a tip after. And so you're talking 10, 12-year-old kids who can do this. Literally, I mean, you can get a yard done in 20, 30 minutes. You can make 20 to 30 bucks untaxed, tax-free. And then when you leave, it's like I told my son, I was like, now ask, would you like me to come back in 2 weeks? Close the retainer deal, right? Nice. Get that income on automatic. All right. That's one lawn, 20 bucks, 30 bucks a month. You do that twice, that's 60 bucks. And now you can go to the neighbor and say, hey, I take care of Miss Jane's house. Would you like me to take care of your house? With a smile. Who's going to say no to that? You know, they don't want to do it anyways. They're looking for a reason. You know what I mean? So like legit as a 12-year-old, if you have big ambition, you can literally grow a big business. And then, you know, now we're thinking about, all right, lemonade stand, let's do that. How do we take, you know, lawn income and flip that into lemonade income? And now how can we diversify their portfolio and the value that they give the world?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I want these kids to understand that. So by the time they're 16, 18, they're already thinking about entrepreneurship. Yeah. They're not trapped at Wendy's, you know, not knowing what the future is going to look like. Like they understand how like opportunities are in entrepreneurship. So I love talking about it. So I'm really happy to have you on here. I'm happy because you're a like new entrepreneur in a sense, and that's
a lot to learn.
That's the scariest time, bro. Yeah. Like that first 6 to 12 months is like, you know, you're not even paycheck to paycheck, you're gig to gig. So there is no guaranteed W-2 2-week paycheck, terrifying. Benefits you got to worry about, and then business and can you make it happen? You know, like that's a lot of weight going into that first year. So tell me how you've been dealing with that, and what things are kind of actionable that have been helping.
Well, number one, surrounding myself with mentors. You know, that's been what's really been holding me up this whole time. You know, people like yourself, shout out to Dan Rosario, other individuals that are there helping me along the way, opportunities through people who see my work and want to hire, and, you know, and just continue to be faithful with every opportunity that comes away as I learn at the same time. So typically what I do is I'll be editing, but I'm also taking a class on film right now. And so I have, you know, one headset in, you know, kind of paying attention, and, you know, as I'm editing, going along and trying to follow along with the classes as well, so I can learn just the basics and everything like that, and trying to spread out that time to make sure that I'm learning as much, because there's a lot of moving parts. You're the guy that goes and sets up the camera, sets this up, sets that up. You're the guy, you're the worker, you're everything in this endeavor. Literally, you are every part. You're the audio guy, the video guy, the business guy, the boss, the this, the that. And so there's so much, the technical side of actually delivering good product, finalized product, industry standard, you know, and then making sure you're tracking your payments and paying your taxes and, you know, all that stuff. So I just been one step at a time, and just trying to make sure that I'm faithful with every day to get information and become better at what I do, with the people that I'm serving, with the people that are around me.
What have been your favorite areas so far?
Honestly, the relationships with the clients and with the people. And I see it as something that's not just a job, but it's fulfilling when you're building with people and, you know, they're like, you know, you meet other people that have similar interests, that are doing different things. They got their business cards. Everyone's eager to network and eager to, what's your LinkedIn? What's your card? Like I'm behind the ball with all that. I'm like, this is a whole different world to me. You know, I'm not networking when I'm at my 9 to 5. I'm just going there to get the job done. All right. And I'm out. Over here, it's a whole bunch of people that are doing similar things, the photographers, the videographers, this, that, or directors, or, you know, or just clients, rappers, singers. I want a music video, or somebody getting married. Like, and it's just that part of it, the building relationships part of it has been the most satisfying for me.
I like that. Yeah. What's the runner up to that? Shooting, editing.
Yeah,
lighting.
Man. Honestly, the painful parts of it, I'm learning are, they help you level up. So learning to enjoy when you do the failures, the times you drop the ball, and leveling up. Every time that I'm on a shoot, every time I do a shoot, I'm leveling up some way. I'm walking away with, oh, I got to do this, or, oh, I got to do that next time. Oh, it's like a never ending process. So I think that part of it, the excitement of getting better, like the desire to excel, and it just does something for you. Like it kind of like helps you see that. It's almost like you learn this. It's almost like a law you learn in this. Like every time you level up, you get better. All around, it's better. The client's more happier. You get more jobs. You get better paid. It's like, oh, wow, this is amazing. Then you start seeing that just in every aspect in life, and just wanting to be faithful in all those areas. So, yeah, man.
That's cool. Yeah. On the networking end, do you follow The Future with Christo?
I believe
Asian dude with glasses.
Yes. Yeah. You put me on
Chris is a man.
Yep.
He has a video where
I like his stuff, man.
He's a man.
Yeah.
He has a video where he's talking about like the power of networking and connections and the importance, like in sales, of discovering the why, right? So if someone wants your services, it's like, well, how big of a problem are they having that they need you? If on a scale of 1 to 10, it's like a 2, it's like, don't waste your money on this. It's not a good investment, you know? But if it is worthwhile pursuing and investing in, Chris is like, you know, if I can get to that pain point, it doesn't matter what I sell it for, the client's going to buy it. And he's like, I don't even need to touch a camera. He's like, I can just hire the best DP crew with the best lenses, with the best grip and gaff. So like in that sense, you can orchestrate the deal. You get the relational part of it where you can build with that person, and you can still say, I'm directing a creative project. And in your case, you can write it, you can direct it. And for us, it's like we all work with friends, so it's like a fun time either way.
Yeah.
So it's really fun. But if you love that relational part, it's like, bro, you got to get to networking events. I do too.
Yeah.
But start getting out to those, bro.
Yeah, which is crazy because I'm more of an introvert.
Yeah, you got to get out.
So it's a challenge.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
out.
It's like, but it's now I'm seeing the fruit of actually going through that process and just being faithful. Where it's like it's becoming easier.
Yeah,
and it's like just do it. It's like anything. Like I don't want to get up to get. Just get up, get in the gym.
Yeah,
just do it. If you don't do it, that's where you lack on the results. So,
yeah, man, I like that. What do you look forward to, say, in a year from now? You're enjoying shooting, you're enjoying editing, you want to build the relational side. What, we've done some short film stuff for anyone who doesn't know. If you YouTube Chief, the music video by Mario Esco, Marrio Esco. That's a project that me and Mario worked on a few years back. And I think
G was in that too.
G was is in that too. I think that project is kind of held up nicely over the years in terms of even like idea, cool, execution, B+. Still like a solid effort and everything off no budget. Like I think it's solid, but just the color, the feel, and how it was put together. We did that on no budget when we didn't really know what we were doing.
Yeah.
So now, we're talking about like documentary stuff. Do you like documentary stuff more? Do you like short film stuff more?
Actually, I'm just enjoying the process of the technical side of it, just trying to get the right exposure, just like just trying to get beautiful shots,
cinematography basics.
Yeah. I'm just enjoying that process right now. So whatever it is, it's like, how do I get the best looking shot?
When you watch content at home, do you find yourself watching a lot of documentaries?
I'm more so a storyteller. I love like
movies,
like we talk about Ozark, shows like that. Just the way they use their cinematography, the way they intentionally light a scene to try to convey a feeling visually. And I'm an artist too, so I write, and that's more tied with emotion. Like, it's like, so for me, there's this thing where you can now take an idea that comes from nowhere and really just birthed from emotions and fictional storylines and whatever. And then you take a microphone or, how do you now transition that using technology? So that aspect, cinematography, film, like telling a story, the challenge of conveying something from the mind to a camera lens to now give to the people to enjoy that. And then the ways that you can actually paint that picture and the way that, you can have this person intentionally on the opposite side of a screen that kind of makes you feel, kind of eerie or, you know what I mean? Like just those really cool creative things that you can do to convey further whatever it is that you're trying to convey, whatever message you're trying to convey. I love that, man. Painting pictures with, film and audio is like, that's what gets me.
Yeah. I love that, bro. Well said.
What gets me.
Very well said.
It's a challenge sometimes. It's like, man, if I can just take this brain out, like when that's probably going to be Elon Musk when he comes up with that brain chip. Like it just plug this in and I can just make the film. Like,
I mean, think instantaneous text messaging.
Do you know what I'm saying? Imagine you visualize it, just boom, there it is. Shoo. But yeah.
Yeah. Do robots replace cinematographers?
You always need the operators, man. Technicians.
Have you seen the robot arms that they have?
No.
Now?
You mean the ones that actually like
the slow motion
go through and you can command it to slow down here and then turn.
They're bananas. They're so amazing.
Whew.
on the right shots, they're like perfect. They used it on a Will Smith movie that was on Netflix. It was like a shooting scene.
Yeah.
And so it just pans around and it's amazing.
Just the timing though, huh?
Yeah.
Between the actors and when you say action, you hit that button.
I think you just hit a start and end point.
Yeah.
And then you
but
just
the actors got to go, they have to nail that scene.
The actors have to still nail that scene. The robot's going to do what it does based off of probably dimensions and time markers.
I wonder how many times they have to go through
probably
each
like
one.
10.
You think so?
Yeah. Go. That way you have a lot of takes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
that's what the weddings, like, that's why I'm so shocked with your footage, man, as I'm editing. I'm like, you don't have time to plan this. You can't plan this. You can't tell the bride, hold up. Can you walk down again? Like you can't, you got to be efficient right there on the fly.
Yeah. There's, that's the cool thing with weddings is like, there's always a different challenge, be it audio, lighting, maybe there's rain. Or someone hit me up and they were like, hey, a lot of your stuff looks like luxury and mansions. Like, do you do any like normal weddings?
Yeah, they're like out of budget. Like, yeah, I can't afford this, dude.
But like some people do hire us who have regular weddings.
That's key though. That's perception, man. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good branding. I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that.
That's pretty good, bro.
Simultaneously,
you can't afford me.
No. I wanna attract that, bro. Like that's what luxury brands do. Yeah. Like they try to attract. You believe in the law of attraction? I believe that if I put out luxury wedding work, like you're not on the regular, people who aren't having a luxury wedding aren't going to hit me up or they're going to be less attracted. If I put out or whatever it is, or if you're a DP, like putting out visuals,
no, it's high end, bro. I see your stuff. I'm like, man, dude, like
there's levels to it. It gets 10x from that. To this. Like the people I look up to are 10x that. So like the weddings. At that point,
if you're getting like better than that, it's like, come on.
Well, a lot of the stuff the wedding budget. I mean, you're going into budgets that are like 2 to 3 million, 5 million, 10 million.
A $10 million.
So like you're pulling up and they spent $500,000 on flowers.
So what they got like.
It's literally like a
movie. It's like a movie.
Like you're walking into like the Centrum and it's a wedding venue now. Wow. And there's $400,000 in flowers around you. And there's Gucci Mane. And there's.
Are you trying to get to that level?
I'd love to.
Yeah,
bro. Give me 10 of those a year.
That's all Reds shooting.
No, not even. That's Panasonic S1H shooting 6K.
Yeah, you think so?
Shooting 6K.
Like those high.
Yeah, I mean Ray Roman is using Canon's line. They're shooting 4 to 6K.
Yeah.
They're delivering in 4K. Like,
wow.
You don't have to shoot Reds because you can still.
So then what determines like, how do you
for me
ethic? Yeah. Like,
yeah, no, I mean like
for you to land that job,
it's branding and marketing or it's branding, marketing and networking. Right. So when you get in with those planners, they're managing $1 million and up. Right. So the client cuts them a check and then they think, okay, who do I like and who does good work for photo and video? And these guys, I mean, to show up, it's 10 bands. If you want to add extra days, you're talking a $25,000 invoice for a weekend to fly to Tulum or wherever. My boy did Gucci Mane's wedding. I just saw Gucci at the game last night, and it's just like, yeah, I've seen his wedding film.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
wow,
like that's my guy, right? Now,
how was it? Was it fire?
Yeah, bro. He had a 10-tiered cake that was 10 tiers. It was an all white affair. He had a diamond encrusted sword to cut his cake. And it's like coming all white because we mobbing like
just because you can, bro.
Just because you can, and he spent $5 on his wedding.
Somebody was like, "We're cutting it with a sword."
There's some crazy stuff, man. But budgets are big and work is out there. Yeah, and you can get that.
Yep.
Like he did that. He did Tyler Perry's event, the studio unraveling, and like $50,000 project, $60,000. Like you can make $100,000 in a weekend. So like, what does it cost to hire a crew and how much profitability can that be? You know what I mean? So that's one cool thing I like about entrepreneurship is that you can scale, right? You can go from, okay, I've replaced my salary to, hey, I just got a job and it actually paid me $100,000, $150,000. And that's one client. So where do you see yourself 5 years from now? In terms of like video work, what do you think you're?
I don't know, man. I try to see myself day by day.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be faithful to the projects as they come. Where I would like to be. Yeah. I would like to be, in a crib You know, I would like to be editing in the crib, nice scenery outside, you know, nothing crazy, you know, maybe doing some film. What you say that the Adam Sandler life? So you say the Adam Sandler life where you and your boys just get together, let's write a script. Let's do a film today. You guys down? Like, everyone down? Let's do it.
Yeah, having that creative control flexibility, but also having that financial flexibility. Yeah. Like the people that I look up to, they put out spec films. They create high level spec films. They put it out, and then they land a job of that magnitude. So like dudes will, hey, we're gonna do a Toyota Tundra commercial. They'll do a spec ad. They'll crew up for a 2-day shoot, sunrise, sunset, drone shots, car tracking shots, shot on anamorphic. They'll put it out, and then a car brand actually hires them and gives them $50,000. Yep. And now they can say Toyota's my client, and then they can just run with that. So the idea of do the film productions pay out royalties, right? So like if you were like SAG, let's say, and you hired SAG actors for a commercial, you as a film production company will have to pay out from the client who runs the commercial, right? What did that dude tell us on that shoot recently?
I think that's what it was.
He said
I mean, I get paid. So I did a commercial for a law firm out in Rhode Island, Providence. Mm-hmm. I accidentally landed the role, and every time they air that commercial, like this year, I got paid for it. I just get a cut. The film producer hits me up. It's like, hey, your address still the same? Yep. And I wait for the check to get sent. So I'm thinking like on that level, there's some things that need to be learned. Because there's residuals now involved with that. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if the film production also
has that
recoups through those residuals, because that would be cool. But on that level, I'm thinking like on not only getting paid once, but now residuals are included in that. Mm-hmm. When you talk about film, now it's a whole different ballgame, because every time they air that thing's getting paid.
Even like think about like the actors in the show Friends or The Office or those kind of things. Dude. It's like what do those checks look like?
Yeah,
that keep you rich forever, although you haven't worked in 30 years.
Bro, when I got called, I was just like, huh? What? Who is this? I don't even know who it is. I forgot. I was like, really? Cool, man. Like what? Yeah. This is how this works. Like
that's fine.
That's a whole different ball game now. Because that's what you want, the royalties. You want long term. Imagine you just do a project one time and then now you're getting paid for it. And forever, you know, like,
it's crazy.
What happens when you pass away? Can you transfer that to your kids and just residuals get?
Yeah, you put that into you create an estate or you create a trust, and then your kids have access.
Yeah, so that would be cool too.
That money still belongs to you.
Yeah,
so that's how that works. Let's talk about that Israel trip.
Oh man, I'm excited. That would be so fire, man.
Yeah,
Israel trip is an idea that you had for a while. I remember you talking about that a long time ago.
I think I'm really pulled by documentaries.
Yeah, you had credit for the American Gospel, right? You did some work for that as well.
I'm listed on IMDb as Netflix.
That's dope. Gospel, see, that's where you need the sound effects. You're supposed to hit the
little Jamaican horns right there. You
gotta step the podcast game up, man. Come on, man.
We got the buttons right there, but Ant hasn't programmed them. I don't know why Ant hasn't programmed it. But that's cool.
Fire. Congrats, bro.
Thanks, bro.
That's what's up.
I appreciate it. But I'm pulled towards documentaries. I've watched like a lot of football documentaries, sports documentaries.
It's intimate.
I like the storytelling aspect of it.
It's intimate.
The 360 feel, following around, D1 or high school kids who are going to go D1, who are going to go to that big school and like getting that 360 on their life.
Well, it brings to life the B-roll.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
B-roll carries the show.
Yo.
And so like if you can shoot good B-roll, like you're a great shooter because B-roll is going to tell that story. The interview shots are what they are. But yeah, there's beauty in those details. So I'm really drawn towards that. I'd love to go out there.
Me too.
Create 4 to 8 episodes.
Yeah.
And just for that experience, I think that'll be fun. And then I really think in the future, like ownership is great when it comes to film, but being able to create like a short documentary about the local economy, and then being able to play that in a local theater and then getting paid and actually watching it with people who are watching it with you.
Ooh,
I think that'd be a fun experience.
you didn't mention that to me before. This is
This is just another idea of
that's pretty
cool. how content creators can get paid in the future. And I think that's cool. And then if you do that, monthly, bi-monthly, it's like that's another form of income. But yeah, I like documentary stuff.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of local things going on that should be a documentary. We all consume the content anyways. So like, why not create it?
Yeah.
Cause it's like,
well, you just let me know, man.
Yeah. Listen, one project at a time. Man.
Yeah. You let
one project at a time.
I hear you.
Let's talk about your audio experience.
Yeah.
People don't know that you're like not an audio guru, but you're really good with audio.
Thank you.
You were an artist for a good amount of time. Behind the Pro Tools boards, how has that kind of helped you transitioning into audio and video production? It's
funny because my first gig that I did, one of the first compliments was audio. They're like, I could tell you're in audio.
Yeah.
It's been
so important.
It is. It's I didn't realize how important it was with film because I didn't get into it for film at first.
Yeah.
Audio came from just investing in myself, realizing that as an artist, I was a recording artist too. I rapped. I realized that it was just way too much to keep going to the recording studio. So, had to invest in myself and learn. And I knew that at some point, I had to take this a lot more serious. So I thought going to college, this is what I need to do. Went to college, for, the science of audio. I learned a lot. I won't say that I learned a lot, just because of the sacrifice and the commitment that it took for me to just go there. And then, because at the time I had my first child, and I was working full time. And so 3 days a week, I would travel, I would commute on the train, head straight out to Boston, hour away on the train, take a subway, go right to the school. I had to do that 3 days a week while I was working full time, thinking that I don't know what I was thinking. I was just trying to invest in myself. And when I got out, I realized that the life of a recording engineer just is not what I want. As far as profession with audio, but I still had the skills of audio, and I recorded myself in the studio. And then, with that, most people don't have their own gear and stuff, and I started helping out other people. And then, just experience of just, the plugins and, messing with that stuff and just trying to get the best sound as I possibly can. It's just, it came from really just music, working with music. And then when film was introduced, it was like, oh, I already have these skills to transition. I know what this does. I know what that does. I knew what plugins to look for.
Big leg up coming in.
Yeah. So, and then also too, in a weird way, the timeline of Pro Tools, like that, it's the same
as Premiere Pro.
Yeah, it's the same exact thing. So even the control, the Control S, the Control C, the copy, the paste, the this, the delete, the da-da-da, the even ripple delete, you have that as well. Yeah. So I'm like, this is just Pro Tools with visuals. Yeah. So it just, everything just transitioned. Yeah. And I still do music, so I'm still, so I'm like, this is dope, It's just now I'm able to do it and make income from it.
It's a perfect transition, bro. Yeah. It's a perfect transition.
Yep. I like it all. Like I like messing. It's like puzzles to me. Yeah. So I love that. If I was a musician, I would probably take the producer role, the beat making role a little bit more serious. But I faked the funk at one time. I'm like, let me try this. I'm a beat maker. I was trash, dude. My beats were trash. Your beats are fire.
I'm glad he finally admitted that. My beats were
trash, bro. BM2 will always be like, yo, send me that. I send him that. He'll send me back a whole different beat. I'm like, this ain't even the beat. What'd you take out of this? The bass line?
I can't remember.
He just made a whole different beat.
About.
He was like, what was that?
That's a cool melody right there. I'm going to take that one. Let me just put my drums on this thing.
But yeah. So it's in a way like messing with audio is the same thing. You're piecing together a story. Yeah. Like I said, I love the challenge of conveying a message or something, emotion or whatever through technology, audio and film. Yeah.
Now, if you're listening to this and you're unfamiliar with Mario, definitely check out the Chief music video. Also check out, what was the name of the other project that we shot with Dan?
Spiritually Dead.
Check out Spiritually Dead. It's literally a movie scene with like fantastic execution. And I think that video as well stands the mark of time. where it's held up well because the basics
that
are there.
video introduced me to film,
lighting. Yeah, bro. And the possibilities of film and like how you can do that. So I'm happy, you know, you did that. I'm happy I got to kind of play a small part. That beat was kind of fire.
Dude, you're humble.
No, I'm being serious. Like, all right, I produced the beat, but I was, you know, I didn't do anything on set. I was just in a tie. Like I didn't have a camera at that point.
Ain't that crazy, bro? Like we had this whole film thing going on, and the whole time you were building behind the scenes. At that time, you weren't though, right?
I had a camera. I was doing stuff with Pastor Mike. I was like learning lighting. That's where I was. I was learning the lighting at that point, and the lighting was garbage. Like if you see that old stuff, it's like it's trash.
Wow.
So that's where I was. That was like the basics for me, the school of hard knocks, the YouTube university days. Yeah. It's like, what is ISO? What is exposure? Messaging people on Facebook. Oh my gosh, what about this shutter? What you know what I mean? Like legit basics.
That's where I'm at.
And listen, you got to pay your dues over there.
Facts. That's what I learned. You got to pay your dues, bro. That's what I learned, bro.
There's no shortcut, bro.
No,
there's no shortcuts.
There ain't no
you
shortcut.
have to learn the basics, unless you're going to be a networker and
I'll be humble. Can I be humble real quick? Just for the sake of people, because my heart always goes to the younger me.
Sure.
I always look at the younger me.
Yeah.
Yo, don't be naive and in pride. Humble yourself. Humble yourself and just learn. Like we think we're owed way more than what we're actually we're worth. You know what I mean? And a lot of times you don't get that, because when you get that, you're going to be very irresponsible with that, and you probably won't get that opportunity again. So appreciate the time, the growth period. Appreciate the work. And another thing, I always tell my kids this, because my kids, sometimes I feel like when I get them to school, it's almost like, man, what am I even doing? You know, why am I even going to, like the attitude comes out, like, why? You know, why I gotta, and I tell them, I remind them, every time that you're going there, you're learning, you're taking away something. You don't realize it. You don't understand it, but there'll be a time where you're going to use it. You're going to apply it. You don't realize it. So trust the process. When you feel like you ain't going nowhere, just take a look back, you know, in your past and see where you are now, and realize if you stay consistent, you're going to keep building. And the illusion is I'm not getting anywhere. That's the illusion. Break through it with consistency.
1% a day.
Stay
1%
going.
a day.
Exactly.
1% a day.
Exactly. To the broken me.
Listen, 1% a day, bro. A year from now, where are you? You're on a whole different level. And you've done that, bro.
Yeah.
You've gone from, you know, as we were talking about, 2 different fields to now creator. And you can really scale, and the possibilities are limitless. You know what I mean? Like I have friends on really big sets. Like you can create anything you want, and it starts with an idea, and you're really creative when it comes to, hey, I have this idea. Can you run with it?
Right.
Like, and that's one thing that I love about you, is that like you're creative in that sense. You can flesh it out, and then we can execute on that, and we can kind of talk about, you know, lighting and direction and cinematography and those things. So it's cool. I
appreciate that, bro.
I look forward to, you know, the stuff we're going to be working on, the stuff we're editing. We're going to be shooting together this weekend. That's another cool thing where it's like, when I'm in a situation where I can bring in my crew, it's like, let's do that. Let's have some fun, and let's get better. So,
and that pours to the next, because I experienced that with you, and I do that with Ant, you know, and G helps us out as well. So that, you know, it's a network. It's all of us together. You climb, I climb, someone else climbs.
Absolutely.
And you start seeing the power, and just everyone just going and getting it together. You know, teamwork and helping each other out and trying to execute with excellence. So
yeah, man, every shoot we see, like the good ones, minimum 6-10 people crew. You know what I mean? And everyone's getting a day rate. Yeah. And someone's paying for that. So I look forward to.
I see that when I'm editing. I see that. I see you guys like, dude, that dude over there. I'm like, oh, there's Alex. I'm pointing everybody out. Like, there's the crew. There's the team.
To be on a bigger shoot, just executing concepts, like dudes have fun, man. They travel the world. They're shooting on the best cameras. And then
when you're dealing with all professionals who go on set and know everybody knows what to do.
Yeah.
Like it's that's a whole nother level, man.
It's a symphony.
Everybody's experts at what they do, and you're just seeing magic unfold. Like you put that in time lapse mode and you watch them go to work. It's like, oh, everybody's at expert level.
Yeah. My boy was on a set of Blue Bloods recently. He connected with Donnie Wahlberg, and I saw Donnie comment on his Instagram like 3 paragraphs.
Is he a videographer?
He's an actor.
He's an actor.
He's a union actor in LA. Yeah. So he was on a set, and I know the sets are crazy. You know what I mean? Because it's 100 people there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I bet you. Can you imagine the pressure, man? Like, you can't afford to make any small dumb mistakes. You know,
it's crazy.
Like, this is pro level.
It's crazy. The cool thing. So I have friends who do bigger stuff, right? On the business level, is that they can buy bigger cameras and then they can rent them out and they don't use them. They could do that with a lens set. They can get a couple lens sets.
Yeah. And
like, that's another way to make money.
That's so true. If you don't have it, you can still just charge it and rent it.
Dudes get a credit card to buy anamorphic lenses or a red camera. They pay that monthly and then they rent it out to pay it off. The same way someone could buy a car and do that and then rent it out, or the same way you buy a house.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So it's like, how can you do that in your industry yet still have access to that red camera for your own shoots?
Right.
You know what I mean? Or even like the partnership thing where it's like, hey, let's go half on a red. Hey, let's go half on, you know, whatever. And then we can use it for projects and do whatever. But there are some ways to make money in the industry outside of that, or even like having lighting equipment, being a grip truck. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And that's very valuable when it comes time when you need that. Yeah. Very valuable. Yeah. Because not everybody has access to all that. And if you know,
specialize in that,
everybody start coming to you. Yeah. Like the shout out to the Worcester Prop House.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we got to get there.
Yeah. Shout out to Daniel there. Like, a lot of people don't know it, but when they all come through, like when Hollywood comes through, that's the spot they're going to. You know, and nobody's knowing it. Right underneath everybody's noses. You go right to the spot. Maybe I shouldn't say anything, but yeah man.
So let's talk about this is your first year of entrepreneurship. What books are you reading? What podcasts are you listening to? What's kind of like shaping your thought process?
Well, right now, books, mainly like audio books. Like I said, I'm going through that class right now with the film, just trying to sharpen up my skills with the
basics
technical
of film,
side.
Cinematography,
just all that kind
lighting.
of stuff. Yeah. And as far as reading, you spoke about the 12 pillars. Yeah. That was one of the last ones that I really dove into. But it's just been scripture, man, for me personally, just making sure I'm grounded. I like to wake up and trying to hit the gym more, you know, trying to build a routine, but realizing the importance of just being grounded in faith and moving forward and desiring to want to serve to the best of my ability. And making sure that I'm hoping I'm doing a good job, brother. Like,
you're doing good, yeah.
I'm sitting right in front of the dude.
For anyone who doesn't know, Mario's been editing a handful of projects with me and on shoots with me, either as a PA or a shooter or, you know, whatever capacity I need staff. Yeah. So it's been fun to hang out, bro. Yeah. So, I mean, even though you got me that Chick-fil-A and he got me a spicy Chick-fil-A sandwich, brought no Chick-fil-A sauce. Bro,
my bad.
It's about to send this dude home. But now things have been.
That's my only flop. I'll take that flop. I'll take that flop, man.
About that light stand though.
What light stand?
Rhode Island.
What happened?
I'll tell you.
Did I break it?
No, we left it behind. It might have been me.
Oh,
yeah, either way. But no,
where was it? In a different room?
It was in the main room. It was just tucked behind a wall. So we shot interviews in a house.
Was that me?
That was like, what was it, like 10 mil? For that house?
That place when we rolled
like 20
up,
rooms.
I didn't know what it was. I was like, "Yo, what is this?" Yeah. Like straight up castle in the middle of the woods.
What challenges did we face there, and how did we overcome? We ran out of power, right?
I think power was the biggest one, man. And I was thinking, like, that's what actually made me think about the whole V-mount thing. Yeah, was swapping out the batteries. Yeah, and I was thinking, how can we be more efficient? How can we have more, power? Yeah. And so, so that's what made us think of that. So that's what made me think of, all right, leveling up, investing in that. It's always going to be something. Like for me now is the windows and the light. And that we dealt with that a few times. And it was the filter, like, getting the ND filter. And, you're putting me on to.
That Peter McKinnon?
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
you order it?
Not yet. No.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will though.
Honestly, I crank my shutter. Yeah. I crank my shutter and it gives you a different, motion blur kind of look. Higher shutter is going to be more like sports.
So when you do that, don't you overexpose?
No, I crank the shutter to keep the exposure lower. I like it. So typically I'm shooting at like f4 on that 24 to 105. And so I'll up the shutter. So my frame rate's 60 frames. My shutter should be at 120 or higher. So I just up that to like 500, 1,000. If I'm in daylight, it's probably like 1,000. Huh. And then I have that black pro mist that sits on that helps to like calm down the highlights.
So that helps.
Yeah. So we've shot like broad daylight with that a couple times, 2-3 p.m. sun blazing, and it makes it look usable.
Really?
Yeah. So
you don't get that weird motion blur effect like that.
I'll show you some, or you've seen, I mean, you edit my stuff. You've seen it.
Yeah. We had some of that weird, like, Saving Private Ryan look like,
I don't know what that was.
And like quick with it. Like, I mean, it had a feel, you know, I just feel like it's my artistic style, you know?
They're like, we've done dance floor footage at like 24 with a high shutter as well. And that's like a specific look, but outside of that, it's outdoors. I just jump that. So, bro, this has been good.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. I wanted to, talk about, hey, year one in entrepreneurship. What are you learning? How are things going? How's the cash flow, taxes, all that jazz? Things are working out. So I'm happy about that.
Can I say something though?
Of course, bro.
Yo, this is real dope experience. The last convo that you had, I was just blown away by that, and I'm sure you have what episode are you in?
We're like in the 15s.
15?
Yeah, we have 11 out, and then I have like 4 or 5 in a stash. I think this would be like 6 in a stash. So
really,
just stacking content, and
this is very it's dope, bro.
Thanks, bro.
I like it. I think it's going to be very beneficial to people who are actually looking for real information. If so, please subscribe, follow this dude. You want to learn, you want to grow. I know Ben personally, as a friend. He's always been really consistent the whole time. Just to open up a little bit, there was a time where I went off on my own endeavors, for my own reasons. And the whole time, coming back, watching your growth and everything has been amazing. And I saw, what faithfulness and just staying consistent does. So, I can vouch for Ben. He's serious about wanting to provide, content that helps you in some kind of way. And I know that he definitely desires to lift up people around him. So I know that's spilling into this as well.
That's so the idea that like you can leave your job, you can have freedom to some extent. Yeah, I think that's incredible, and I think there's more than enough ways for it to be had with a few actionable steps. And I think it's a lot closer in reach than people think. And that's why with you, it was like, I kept trying to encourage you, like, bro, just do it. I'm gonna give you work for like a month, bro. Just jump, just do it. I'll get you work, bro. I'll get you work.
Blessing me this whole time. You know what I mean? So
like, I don't know. Sometimes people just need that encouragement, that
Thank
mentor.
You, bro.
And there's mentors at every level.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Thank you.
First year or 10th year, how do you get from $1 million to $1 billion? How do you get from 100,000 to $1 million? Like there's a mentor at every level for those things. So, that nothing makes me happier than that. So happy you took the jump. Happy to have you on here. Happy to work with you, bro. I appreciate your time. Definitely have you on again. Guys, if you are watching this, definitely like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, you can catch us for video on there. We're also on the Fountain app. Check out Mario Esco. I'll get your socials. I'll put them in the show links. And I appreciate your time, bro.
All right, man. Thank you, bro.